Guys, we're starting off the day, and in the back of the Mustang, we have a compression tester, a box full of tools, some delicious tea, and Big Boost is rolling up. This can only mean one thing. We are going to look at a car, but as per usual, I don't like to film. Yeah, we're gonna look at a car. Yeah, I'm sorry, I know you thought we were going to get boba and chill at Starbucks, but we're gonna go look at a car.
Aww.
Come on, come on. You know looking at cars is fun. No, I'm just playing, he knows what we're doing. But anyway, I don't really like to film the whole like negotiation stuff or checking out the car first because it's always very awkward and like usually, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just important for us to be able to focus and then afterwards we can film and talk about all the stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
what are we doing? We're gonna go see a car.
Yeah, we got tools, we got a compression tester, so you know it's something old and probably sketchy. Probably a bad idea if we have to bring a compression tester. Well, you know, I make bad decisions. All right, so we looked at the car. Alberto, I want to hear your thoughts since you're not going to be with me when I go back to pick it up.
The car's good. It's a little slow for being a.
No, we're not saying what it is. I just bleeped that out. I just bleeped that out. No, it's okay. I bleeped it out. It's gonna need some TLC though.
But it's slow. It needs to be faster.
Alberto kind of convinced me to get it because he was like, oh, this is gonna be a lot of work and like it'll be great for me because he gets to do all this work on the car.
Watch Adam try to hack it up and say, Alberto, I'm stuck, I need help.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun project. It's just your average rainy day. You're walking into what looks like your average run-of-the-mill little store on the corner, and you open the door, and this is what you see. We're here at AV Auto Imports. This place is actually just like, I think 20 minutes away from me. I saw that they had a car that I've been wanting on Craigslist for some time, and I've been talking to them a while for it. And I finally pulled the trigger. So before I tell you which one it is, I'm gonna do a little walk around and you guys can maybe give a guess. Looks like we got an R32 4-door, 300ZX, you know, just some beautiful RX-7s. I was really worried if I took Nicole here that we'd end up taking one of the RX-7s home, or maybe we are, I don't know. This thing with one of the craziest wide bodies I've ever seen. Very cool, SR. A lot of interesting stuff. That may look like an R34, but it's actually an R32. Very, very cool conversion on it. This car I actually have a sound clip of. It's a R32 with ITBs. A matching 180 next to it. A lot of cool stuff. I love this red. But the car that we are going to be taking home is not under this cover. And it's none of these. It is this R32 Skyline sedan. Now it's pouring and I want to get home, so I'll talk more about it when I get home, but I'm very, very excited about it. We just signed all the paperwork and everything. And huge shout out to these guys for getting me all set up with it. And we are going to fill you guys in on the details once we get back home. Very, very cool place. Like you would not expect there to be all these rad cars just kind of chilling in here. I get to drive my new Skyline home in this monsoon. Literally just like inches of water on the street right now. Definitely a bit sketchy driving a new right-hand drive car in this rainstorm. Oh boy. At least it has AC though, so I can see. That's nice. I love this thing. It's weird. It honestly hasn't felt that weird driving right-hand drive, maybe because I drove it so much in Japan. And there's just so much else going on that I'm not really even focusing on the fact that this car's right-hand drive or that all the blinkers indicators are everywhere and that it's in kilometers. I'm just kind of driving, you know? So excited for you guys to hear this thing. Got that flutter. You can tell Nicole's excited. She's got her eyes closed. You can open them. It's on the other side of the Mustang.
It's a GT350! I heard it revving.
Did you?
Come on. Come on. Come on.
What do you think?
Stephanie's alright.
Nicole, she knew I was bringing this home. This isn't a surprise to her. Just to put that out there. I found out, I don't know if you guys saw it in the video, it has like purple headlights. They have like little purple like lights in the back. You don't like it?
No, I'm just, let me just get used to it. I like it more than Gabby right now. It's just, it kind of reminds me of your JZX90. It's just big.
I have 100, Nicole.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that was Taylor's.
It's actually really small, like when you drive it.
Your JZX100, it's just big.
It feels like you're driving an S13. Like it actually feels really tiny. It's very easy to like navigate through traffic and stuff.
like it. I just...
It's okay, you don't have to like it a lot because I'm gonna crash the crap out of this car.
It'll grow on me with time.
Yeah, I gotta tell you guys the purpose of this car.
To be honest...
Rip Skyline.
To be honest...
Yeah.
Why am I upside down on the screen?
Sorry.
Okay. To be honest, when I first saw Miatas and 240s and 350Zs and all of them, I didn't like any of them, and then they grow on me with time. So this car will be the same. I didn't even like minis at first. So, and then I got one.
I used to hate R32 four doors, and then just like seeing them more and more and just seeing rad ones more and more made me really like them. But I like this car. It's got a cool looking kit. It's actually got really nice paint on it, no fading or anything. I don't know how I feel about the black hood, but I'm not gonna change it. If you guys are familiar with R32 sedans, I guess it's a GTST. I honestly don't even know much about R32s, so yeah. Anyway, what makes this car special is what's under the hood. Sounds really cheesy, I know. This car actually has an RB25 swapped into it with a Greddy TD06 turbo.
It has a shroom.
A shroom? Yeah, these like filters, the mushroom style, are actually really, really common over in Japan.
That turbo is so shiny.
Yeah, it's
I like the red.
Yeah, no, it's a really nice looking engine. This thing should rip. All right, so I obviously have a bit of explaining to do. So before I go through all the details and specs and everything, I should probably explain why the heck we need another car. So I've mentioned this before in live streams and in videos. The point of getting a right-hand drive car is basically that I want to be able to practice in a right-hand drive car. So when I move over to the S15, which I'm not gonna be able to run as often as I run my S13 because frankly, like the level of that car, A, is not gonna be fun for other events with like cars with like 200, 300 horsepower, and B, it's very expensive and stuff will break a lot. So, hence my right-hand drive seat time car, and I call it seat time car because it is gonna be like much less reliable, especially with an RB than my 350Z, but I'm hoping that this car will prove to be a little bit more reliable than my SR. That's my goal. I think the RB will probably last like maybe 2 or 3 events before I blow it up. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that now. That way, if it lasts forever, then it's like, oh yeah, cool. And when it did things that I didn't think it was gonna do. But you guys know, I've always been like against RBs, mainly because I have so many friends. Okay, that chair's not gonna work. That's too low. I can angle this down. But I have friends that have had like terrible luck with RBs, and I don't want any of you guys getting sucked down the RB rabbit hole. But at this point, I have a reliable 350Z, a 240 that kind of works but guzzles a gallon of coolant every couple laps. So the idea is to kind of slowly build it. So I didn't want another project. I hate projects. I don't hate projects. There's just so many going on right now that it was gonna stress me out. And that's why this car kind of spoke to me, because the fact that like everything's all there. I didn't want to take something on and know that I wouldn't be able to finish it and then like get all hype about it, because I got to put time in the S15, I got to put time in my car and Nicole's car. This car is pretty well sorted. Suspension wise, I'll talk about it real quick. It's got coilovers, it's got like arms, it's got a little bit of angle. I don't know if it has a Hikis delete or not, but like it's got an exhaust. R32 brakes are good. It's got an LSD. I might as well just walk you guys through the car right now, right? In the interior, it's got R34 GTR seats. It's got a Nardi, like a Blitz boost controller, boost gauge, some sort of Japanese head unit. Inside's fairly stock, how I like it. You guys know that I like my stuff very stock and simple. Underneath the hood, it does have a Greddy TD06 20G kit. Driving around town, it's very, very laggy. I don't know if there's like boost leaks in the car or if it's just because what I've learned is the car actually has an RB20 chipped ECU. So with the RB20 ECU, Martin from RS Enthalpy so kindly filled me in on this. You can't use the variable timing, so you have to switch to a different ECU to be able to do that. So the car's just very laggy right now, but it already has an RB25 in it. It's got an intake manifold, it's got an exhaust manifold, it's got a fancy HKS intercooler, fancy HKS intake. You know, the engine bay is a mess, and you have your typical Yankee looking JDM welds. But the car's got AC, it doesn't have really any rust. It's really, really, really clean. So that's another thing that's rad for me, because I can just focus on like the pure performance aspect of the car, and I don't really have to worry about paint. I don't have to worry about fitting any body panels to it, because I think the car looks great right now. I love the kit. Whatever kit it is, you can comment down below, because I have absolutely no idea. Now, I was able to get a really good deal on the car too, thanks to AB Auto Imports. Basically, they filled me in. This car is not perfect. It has some issues right now. The main one is that it breaks up at higher RPM. Most likely is going to be something tune related, I'm guessing, but I am going to try changing out the spark plugs and coil packs to see if that gets rid of the issue. It also has some weird, like, you know, the typical when you add a blow-off valve to one of these older engines that are MAF, the car likes to stall when you get off the gas. The car also does need some work. It's missing the proper boost couplers, intercooler couplers, yeah, whatever you call them. These are just like ones that you shouldn't really be using for boost, but that's okay. The car just came over like this. They just sold it to me as is. Also has some weird janky stuff going on with the blow-off valve. And I gotta admit, it is a little bit more of a project than I originally anticipated. Did I say it has a leaky rear main seal? I don't know if I said that or not. But I don't know if it's bad enough to justify pulling the trans off yet. As far as we know, stock motor entirely. What's rad about this car too is it's basically ready to drift. So normally, well, I guess always, I would probably advise you guys against buying a modified car, especially one like this that came from Japan modified, because there's a large, this car was almost definitely drifted. It's got an LSD, it has like mild angle mods. I mean, look at the engine bay. Someone used and abused this car, but the thing is, in Japan, they aren't really like us and they take really good care of their things. And usually it's a good indicator that the car already has a good clutch, which it does, it's very heavy. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and put this out there. This probably or could definitely have possibly been a bad idea, but the way that I look at it, I really want an RB in my life, as crazy as that sounds, because they sound rad and I'm jealous of Nicole's 1J, but I don't want to do another 1J because that's boring. And my usual opposition towards RBs is because in an S chassis, just like a JZ, they're very long. Inline sixes take up a lot of space and you don't have room for adequate cooling. But since this chassis was designed for an RB, there's plenty of room where we even have a gnarly clutch fan, which is what keeps this thing ice cold. I say that now, it's probably not gonna stay ice cold. GK Tech does make a rad like aftermarket fan that pushes a lot more air, and I guess we can start to kind of talk about my plans for the car. I want to do all GK Tech suspension stuff in terms of like arms, angle kit. They make a lot of rad parts for the R chassis. That sounds weird, I'm so used to saying S chassis. And in my head, what I want to do instantly to try to keep this thing safe and keep me from blowing it up and keep it cooler is to go with a Dishworks setup to convert the car over to E85, because that'll be much safer. It saved my SR multiple times. That way we can run probably a little bit more power, a little bit more timing, much safer, much cooler. I'll probably want to switch to a Garrett turbo, but for now I kind of want to see how this thing parties, see how it is once it's properly tuned. I got to take it over to Martin at our Enthalpy, get the proper ECU on this thing so we can start taking advantage of the variable timing. And I don't know, I mean, I'm sure I'll find other stuff that I want to sort through from here, but overall, like, I'm very, very excited with this car. It's like pretty well sorted for, you know, just picking up a car like this. Oh, and also like super full disclosure. I am going to beat this car up, and this car will look like an Ebisu car, will have lots of dents. I'm gonna drive the crap out of it. I'm sorry, I guess I'll feel a little bit guilty because it is pretty clean and a pretty nice car. I just have a lot of sentimental value with my S13, and frankly the fact that this car is already like decently well sorted makes me feel much less attached to it. So if I go and write this car off tomorrow, I'm not going to be upset. Yes, the fact that it's expensive and like money is upsetting, but to me I have way more of an attachment to a car like Nicole's that I've put hours and hours and hours of time into, and it really has like a history and a past and memories. So I want to basically save my S13 by abusing the crap out of this car. And the fact, like I said, I didn't use to like 4-doors, and they kind of grew on me a little bit, but I mean, it's a good looking ugly car, kind of like the JZX 100s, where it's like not the end of the world if you crash it up too much, you know? But I do want to make this thing look extra rad, maybe do a cool livery, some rad Hot Boy wheels, and just have fun with it. Because to be honest, I've been getting kind of bored of doing the same SR stuff all the time, the same JZ stuff all the time, and like, man, I definitely don't need another project. But I'm really excited for this, and I don't know if you guys could tell, like, I don't want to say a lack of excitement lately, but I have a problem where I keep on needing to have these fun, new, exciting things. I really want a JZX 100, but those aren't legal, and everybody that has them over here wants way too much money, so I can't get one of those. So I'm gonna settle for this until I can get my hands on a JZX 100 and just drive the crap out of it, have some fun, and make rad, sweet turbo noises. So I'm gonna change the spark plugs on this and hope that corrects the breaking up issue, and then I'm gonna give Nicole a ride. We gotta go run a couple errands, and we'll end this video off with some rad, sweet driving clips that won't really be that rad. But I just want to thank you guys. I hope you're very excited about this. I have never really thought of owning an R32 because the GTRs don't really do too much for me. But the car just makes a lot of sense for what I want. I want just like a nice, reliable, maybe like 380 horsepower. The RB25 is gonna be perfect. It fits well in the shell. The 4-door is cool, it's different, it's unique, it's fun, it's clean, it looks good. I'm sure there's a million things that I want to talk about this car that I'll forget to tell you guys, but we're gonna have some fun with this thing. So look at this, already new and exciting things. How rad is it that the way that it's designed, you can pull up all the coil packs at once? That's amazing. It is a very good chance that the coil packs are bad, and that's part of the problem, but I'm hoping it's just the spark plugs because that's an easy fix. What greater way to take out the Skyline than to go enjoy some nice pho. And thankfully, fixing those spark plugs did actually clean up the tune, or I should say how the car runs a little bit, so. Did you get on the wrong side? Yes, that's what I was hoping for. It's gonna feel weird, Nicole. We're back in Japan. Look how pretty it is out right now. I love this thing. I love it, I love it. Look at the sky, it's raining. What do you think of the seats?
I love it.
It's nice, right?
It's really nice and clean.
I know, it's just an old Japanese car. You ready for a little action?
Yeah.
Get prepared for the cool noises.
Oh wow.
It's cool, right?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
kind of scary because it's wet.
So the lag is actually really bad. The boost threshold isn't bad. Why did the air just come on? So like if I'm at, let's say 2500 RPMs and I floor it, boost. So I don't know. It's not too bad, but like for drifting, definitely I think it can be worked out. And there's some ways that we can kind of, I think the variable timing will help that a lot. Does Nicole approve of this?
Yeah.
Nicole approves of this. So that means we're gonna have a lot of fun, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy our new Skyline. We're gonna go eat some delicious pho together. Focus, focus, focus. Okay, there we go. Later, guys. Later, guys. Later, guys.
Bye.